You are going to spar for the first time now. Exciting times, right? And in this video, I want to give you my top 5 tips in just 5 minutes before you go into your first sparring session with a classmate. But these tips can also help you if you're already sparring on a regular basis. Over the last couple of years, I had a couple of fights on a school level, but also on a national level. Some of them I won, some of them I lost. Totally normal, because martial arts is all about learning more and more and more and get better with every session of training, right? But this is really the condensed knowledge of my experience that I wish I knew before I went into my first sparring bout. And especially the last one is something that 99% of all of the people, including myself, do in sparring. So let's get to it. So the first tip is know your gear. If you don't know your tools, you cannot work. And I take the ordinary boxing gloves as an example for this. Whether you're using something like this here, a 10-ounce boxing glove, or something like MMA gloves, or just your bare fists, makes a huge difference what kind of sparring you are doing. So knowing what you're about to do will determine whichever kind of gear you're going to use, whether that be head guard, shin guard, mouth guard, different kind of boxing gloves. This is all determined by what you are going to do in sparring. For example, for beginners, always go with bigger gloves, 10-ounce, 16-ounce gloves, because then you have more to protect yourself, because these gloves are obviously bigger than those, so you have more to cover here. The next thing, when you are a beginner, you are not used to hit somebody else, so this is also a protection for your sparring partner, because if you cannot control yourself, you might break his jaw, his rib cage, or whatever other bone part you are aiming for. When you get more and more advanced and more comfortable with sparring and the environment you are in, you can use then something like an MMA glove, because this has the huge advantage that you can also apply techniques that you can't with the big one. In martial arts, there are a lot of techniques that require you to just do like little grabbing movements, or just trapping hands, or deflecting punches. And to have this control with a big glove is really hard, but with the small gloves, it's going to be much better. The same goes for head guards. Do I need one with a grid before? Do I need a no grid head guard? Do I need something that is protecting my ears here? Everything here is also important to consider, because man, those things are expensive. But don't worry, I got you covered. I have a video right here, and you also find it in the first link in the video description, what you should consider before buying a head guard. I made a self-experiment. It's pretty interesting. Watch it after this one. So number 2, injuries. Nobody likes to talk about injuries, right? But don't worry, little injuries are just normal. As long as they're not as severe, it's totally natural to have a bleeding nose from time to time, that your eyes start to water, because think about it. You've been punched in the face or in the nose for probably the first time ever. Your body doesn't know how to react to that. And it happens to everybody of us from time to time. The real problem is when you have big injuries like a broken arm, a broken leg because you kicked too hard, or you aimed for the wrong target, or your partner checked it and you didn't expect. This is then where the problem arises, because the problem of an injury is that it keeps us away from training. And if you don't train, we don't make progress. And that's something that we need to avoid under any circumstances. Tip number 3, stamina and endurance. Most likely either of 2 things is going to happen when you jump in your first couple of sparring sessions. The first thing, you cannot keep your guard up because your shoulders are getting tired, so you let your hands down, which is then the perfect invitation for your sparring partner to give you a free facelift. Or you're going to be so much out of breath that you cannot focus on technique, and you're just throwing wild punches, haymakers, whatever comes to your mind, because you're going in a survival mode. And really, in the beginning, you cannot win a fight if you're either out of breath or your muscles are tired, period. Well, one of the obvious things is conditioning, so strength training, because then you're working on your muscle strength. Because if you have a good structured trainings program, if you work full range of motion with the weights, then you are also going to be protecting and making your body stronger from the inside. And you raise up slowly but surely the level of stress your body can handle. And by the way, if you think now, okay, where should I start with lifting weights? What do I need to do? I got you covered. I have a link in the description for my weightlifting program. This is just what I've been doing over the last couple of years to build my physique and my strength. And if this is something that interests you, have a look at it. Number 4, mindset. Sparring needs to be a friendly environment. When it's Friday night and you go into the sparring session, you had a shitty day and you just think, okay, I'm gonna beat up those guys, then you're wrong. Go home, chill yourself out, look a film, maybe watch some TV, maybe scroll a little bit through TikTok or whatever, but this is not the mindset that you want to go into a sparring session. You should only hit as hard as you can get hit back, because what naturally happens in sparring, we are getting stressed, the other one gets stressed, we are getting more stressed, more, until we are aggressive at each other, and this is not where you can learn. And here comes now the thing that I said 99% of people, including myself, do wrong. don't look away or close your eyes. And I know this is pretty hard one, especially for beginners, because you have never been hit in the head before. You want to turn away because you are afraid of getting hit. Here in this area, we have a lot of vital things. We have the nose where we smell, we have the mouth where we chew, where we eat, we have the eyes for seeing things. It is just natural for us that we turn away and want to protect this area because it is so important for our daily life. But if you find yourself going away for the punches, or maybe even worse, tuck down, you cannot see what's coming. And especially when you are not just in the boxing environment, but also in a kickboxing or traditional martial arts fight, there can be kicks and knees to the head. And look up some footage of people getting kneed in their head while tucking in. That's not some beautiful stuff, that's for sure. So, and now before you go out all on Amazon and just buy the next martial arts gear or sparring gear that you find, watch this video next year where I explain you everything you need to know about headgear. And on this side here, you'll find a video that the YouTube algorithm thinks you might like. Let's see you in there.